Hello, what's out, my friends? You always take care out there so that you won't catch the COVID-19 virus. Welcome to my channel, Learn with Sir Andre, and thank you for watching this video. Although my discussion today with the title How to Sustain an Event Tourism in the Long Term Despite Many Challenges and Difficulties, this discussion is intended to my event management students, but for those people who have interest in managing events like birthdays, anniversaries, convention, and sporting events, etc. Those people, especially those tourism-related events, can also learn from my discussion. I'm going to discuss the principles and guidelines for event sustainability. I'm going to describe how an event can be planned, managed, and tracked through the stages of its life cycle. It is not an easy task to come up with an event strategy that ensures event sustainability, especially in event tourism. It requires constant revision and adjustment and a touch of creativity. Now, event tourism strategy should be planned and managed within overall responsible tourism practices at the destination. Sustainable tourism development manages various economic, social, and environmental impacts on the destination. A balance needs to be found to protect and enhance the destination's resources for the future while managing the complex interaction of all the stakeholders. Without this, damage can be caused to the local environment, producing social and cultural conflict and alienating the host community. It is a paradox, or it is ironical, that while events and festivals have helped in the regeneration of these traditions and cultural displays through financial assistance and creating awareness, they have brought with them social, economic, and environmental change to the community. Assessing and monitoring event contribution and impact on the local environment are necessary to sustain the event in the long term. The event may impact the environment, but the flip side is that environmental conditions may impact the continuation, growth, and success of the event. For example, many of Asia's events are based on the sowing and harvesting of food, or located by rivers and lakes where the abundance of fish is important. Declining fish stocks, polluted waters, and overharvesting will have repercussions on the suitability of the location for hosting the festival in the future, the event's attractiveness, and the community setting. Tourism events should be considered within the wider context of tourism development strategy. So, sustainable tourism management principles should be practical to implement and monitor. At times, these principles can be subjective, which can lead to difficulties in agreeing on what is sustainable or not. Due to the number of stakeholders involved and their objectives, the event manager may need to negotiate trade-offs. It can be asked at what point the behavior of tourists threatens the peace, tranquility, and values of the local community. Event tourism sustainability guidelines and responses form an integral component of an event preparation list. The factors that need to be considered as part of these guidelines in achieving sustainable tourism are the following. First, pollution, that is in air, water, or also the noise pollution and visual pollution. Another factor is the resource use. It can also be water, land, food, power, and materials. Another factor is the wildlife and ecosystems, like hunting and their habitats. Still another factor is the operational practices that refers to recycling, waste management, energy conservation, eco-friendly construction. Another factor is the host community for the distribution of benefits and involvement. Still another factor is the tourist behavior and concerns. Another factor is the industry, that is for the codes of practice, self-regulation, level of stakeholder collaboration, sustainable tourism-related initiatives. And another factor is the public sector policy for the funding, legislation, and planning. And the last one, the factors as part of the guidelines in achieving sustainable tourism is the conservation policies and practices, like in landscapes, townscapes, waterscapes, wildlife, and indigenous communities. According to UNESCO, or the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, for which one of the essential functions is the preservation of cultural heritage worldwide, events such as national days and competitions should be devoted to encouraging the appreciation of natural or man-made landscapes and sites in order to direct public attention to the fact that the protection of their beauty and character is of prime importance to the community. Yet, it is difficult to completely eliminate negative outcomes. The event planner should be aware of this and seek to reduce them where possible. The scale of an event should be such that it limits impact on the local landscape in which it is being staged while achieving the event's objectives. Realistically, there will be inevitably or avoidable impact to the environment, but the event team should strive for sustainable principles. So apart from the resources needed to host the event, possible pollution effects and impact on the local ecology need to be considered. And policies, legislation, and enforceable codes on conservation, preservation, and dealing with waste creation should be put in place as part of event planning. Events for the public and within a tourism settings should have the following guidelines set out as part of sustainable event planning. First guideline is the local community receives the benefits with broader development goals. This means that very often Asian events can reach remote areas and have the ability to involve more local people. The second guideline is responsible tourism practices between the tourist environment and local communities. This refers to the ethical considerations and pro-poor tourism should ensure that events benefit the local communities and ethnic groups. Fair payments and trade should be part of this. While still another guideline states that while many destinations in Asia have unique cultural appeal for potential visitors, their setting and access are inadequate. This means that while being sensitive to and respecting the local culture and heritage, assistance should be given in developing and marketing the event. This can be by government organizations or private enterprises. And the last guideline states that with many events within a natural setting, environmental guidelines should be central to event sustainability. While aimed at reducing possible impact, this course of action should involve a monitoring and policing mechanism, legislation, and power to enforce and take corrective action if needed. This needs the support of the government. Now, one of the outcomes and sustainability components of a tourism event centers on the direct and indirect benefits to the community and the value for money perspective of the visitor. This refers to managing and maximizing the benefits. There are many sources or resources of these benefits. First is the event fees. Fee revenues can be generated through ticket purchases or at a convention and exhibition from delegate fees. Another source of the benefit is the sponsorships and partnerships. In addition to event fees, sponsorship can be a major source of financial support. Another source is the grants. Local government, NGOs, or associations may be able to provide grants to qualified events. Another source of benefit is the venue rental. Sports venues, convention halls, and unique event locations such as parks or museums can raise revenues through rental fees. Another source of benefit is the accommodation providers. Accommodation providers can be one of the main economic beneficiaries from events. But aside from earning room revenue, they provide local employment, purchase local products and services, and contribute to government taxes through a tourism tax levy. Another source of the benefit is the human resources. Full or part-time labor is needed at events. Events frequently rely on a large casual labor pool to act as service staff, such as receptionists, ushers, marshals, guest relations and security personnel, or waiters or waitresses. These casual workers receive payment and training. Still another source of benefit for the community is the travel visas. Due to the fact that several Asian destinations require visa either upon arrival or through prior application at an overseas consulate or embassy. Another source of the benefit is the airport taxes. These airport taxes are another way to gain further foreign currency revenues. Another source is the transportation providers. Still another one is the restaurants and bars. Due to the fact that events usually include drinking or eating. Further economic benefits can be gained by spreading businesses to local restaurants and bars beyond the venue. Another source of the benefit is the entertainment. Shows, theater, casinos, spas, nightclubs, and other leisure experiences can be important reasons why a participant chooses and attends a specific event. Taxes raised from this can also benefit the destination. Another source of the benefit is the utilities. Events require a variety of equipment, facilities, and services. Another source of the benefit are the museums, monuments, and sites. Organizers may package in visits to museums and religious sites or the use of historical or other unique venues to stage the event. Entrance fees to museums and historical sites in some Asian destinations have a dual pay structure, with foreign visitors paying a higher entrance or usage fee than locals. So those are the sources of the benefits to the community. So now, an event leaves behind legacies. This can be in the form of physical venues and infrastructure or a trained workforce. The former's upkeep and maintenance are important for recurring events or for future one-off events. Each year, new skills and training are required for staffing and volunteers. New technologies and advancements need to be added to the event. Physical infrastructure gets worn and damaged, and repairs and upgrades are necessary. Events can continue to give future benefits to the community. However, this is contingent on a continual reassessment and reinvestment in the resources. Any economic assessment linked to the event sustainability should be extended beyond tourism rents and receipts. The cost-benefit factors of hosting an event need assessment. Event revenues can be generated from a wide range of services such as accommodation, transport, sponsorship, ticketing, retail, trade, merchandising, and broadcasting. Through event design and a consideration of the resources and product and service offerings around the event, additional revenues can be generated. Additional thought should be given to ideas for generating further revenues around the event. What are these ideas? First, extending the visitor catchment area. Second, increasing ticket price and delegate fees. Third, greater spending on event souvenirs and merchandise. And lastly, encouraging longer visitor stay. Now let's study the life cycle of events. As it has a dynamic nature, every event will evolve, adapt, and change over time, influenced by various external and internal factors. This changing trend tracking an event's lifespan is known as an event life cycle. Adjustments and impacts to this life cycle can be unpredictable or inevitable. So it is important to understand the different stages of the life cycle of events. First stage is the research and development. A feasibility study should be undertaken to determine whether an event really is a good idea, the resources required, profitability, competition, pricing policy, financial risk, and destination image enhancement. The feasibility study should be a pragmatic assessment of the ability to realistically meet the event objectives and needs, as well as expectations of the event stakeholders while adhering to responsible tourism development. The next stage is introduction. Launching a new event may involve not only investment in venues, supporting infrastructure, and necessary resources, but having an effective marketing strategy in place. Opening ceremonies signal the commencement of an event or product. A recurring event may remain at the introduction stage for some time. The third stage is the growth stage. Based on the degree of success upon its introduction, an event can start to grow and attract more participants. The event should continue to attract the previous participants as well as newer audiences through word-of-mouth referrals, media reports on previous events, as well as an ongoing marketing strategy. The next stage is maturity stage. Successful events will continue to evolve and adapt to changing needs of event participants, thus reaching the maturity stage. As more events reach maturity levels, this can create greater competition between events, either in the same location or between destinations. The challenge for an event is staying competitive and relevant and defending its position. Failure to adjust and make relevant market-based amendments can result in an event's decline. Strategies to maintain or extend this dominant position can be put in place. These are the following. Investing in and opening a new venue may not only attract current participants, but with the extra capacity be able to increase audience numbers. Better strategic marketing and promotion could be required to target residents and visitors not aware of the event or with little previous interest in it. Next, packaging the event with other attractive destination features can add more value. Next, the event can be developed by carefully matching and linking it to population trends. Next, many Asian events have cultural and historical roots. And finally, spreading an event concept to other destinations can help in increasing its popularity. Those are the strategies to maintain or extend this dominant position of the event. The last stage is the decline stage. Tourism events may go into decline for a number of reasons, and the event team should be aware of the warning signs. These could include external global factors such as a decline in the destination's image, political changes, or new or more attractive events either in the same location or neighboring jurisdictions. Internal factors causing a decline can include environmental destruction, poor management, reaching carrying capacity infrastructure thresholds, the population with the youth attracted to urban settings, or the event becoming obsolete and unattractive. The event marketing strategy will play a key role throughout the life cycle. While events may adapt, the communicating of these updated images must be able to reach, be believed, and be acted upon in the form of commitment to attend the event by targeted and potential participants. An event has physical and social carrying capacity. The aim is to know these capacities and put a visitor management system in place so as not to exceed them. Exceeding capacity numbers can put a strain on resources and facilities. It can impact the ecology and the future support of the event by residents and visitors. Carrying capacity problems could be due to poor event management rather than the event itself. So before I end my discussion today, let me give you the summary of my discussion. Effective event tourism strategies should take into account sustainable practices which manage economic, social, and environmental impacts. Principles and guidelines to ensure sustainability should be put in place to limit negative impact on the local landscape while maximizing the benefits it brings to the community. It is important to make an economic assessment of the event with additional thought given to generating extra revenues around it. Like a product or a service, an event also has a life cycle with the following stages: research and development, introduction, growth, maturity, and possible decline. The event must be tracked and managed through each of these stages. Lastly, it is important to recognize that the carrying capacity of an event is an important factor in event sustainability. So that is all for today for our discussion, and I hope that you have learned something. And watch out for our next video for the continuation of our discussion. And in that video, I will include the steps on how to organize a wonderfully unique birthday party. So watch out for that, guys, my friends and my students. So always take care, and thank you for watching. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share my videos. Okay, God bless us all. Thank you so much.